Yeah, we back in the courtroom, fam. Let's go. Select adventure. We're heading into the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. If you'd like to watch, I completed the first game. I know, surprising. I know. What the hell? You could no way, bro. I don't believe it. Best believe it happens rarely, but I actually did it. The full playlist for the first game is up on my YouTube as well. If you'd like to check it out, ! Ace. Thank you. And no, I'm in Texas. Oh, okay. Got it. I thought you already left to Japan. Wait. Load game. I know we saved. Okay. Good. I was like, wait a minute. Yep, this is it. Man, has it been that long? July 15th? Oh my, that voice crack. July 15th, 2023? That was really the last time we played? Oh shit, dude. 10:33. Oh, okay. So this is the latest save. Yeah, man. It's been over a year. Jeez, time flies a little too fast, chat. But okay, all right. This should be the save file. The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, Episode 1: The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney, Trial, Part 1. I've never had any concrete plans for Japan. But didn't we talk about this on Discord? I thought you were heading there soon. Oh, my memory is not serving me right, but okay. Well, good to see you, Mouse. Thanks for tuning in. Start playing from this save game data? Yes, let's go. The music in this game too, so good.
August, 10:41 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber
3. I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Rei.
You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone.
No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all.
Returned.
Vega, thanks for the 18-month resub, holy shit.
But who is this handsome man I see? Missed you. Hope you doing well, Tilda.
Jesus Christ.
Hope you're doing well, Tilda. Vega! Holy shit! It's been so long. Good to see you. Cheers! Missed you too. I am doing great, Vega. How about yourself? Welcome on back.
Hi.
It's the 18 months, and we're just getting started with Ace Attorney. I know you a fan of those VNs, visual novels. Let's go. But thank you.
I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So, I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that you'd stand by me to the last. I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato! I deserve it! No, in fact, throw me to the floor.
Whoa. Whoa! We're getting into some BDSM shit now.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Ray. My God. Hit me, please.
Lul.
Oh! You gotta pay me money.
I'm also a fan of your voice acting too.
Oh, thank you, Vega. Time to eat this bitch? Yeah, dude. We're no longer friends. I'm not gonna represent you, dude. You into some kinky ass shit.
Nice. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets while I'm butt naked. Yikes. I'm no better, you know. Oh? Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pull the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Susato? I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer.
Aww. What a nice guy. I changed the text-to-speech voice to, I think, a Japanese person. I don't know. What did that say? When the bitches get too aggressive? I couldn't hear that TTS. I just heard a Japanese woman in my ear. Yep, same fucking part, me and Sam.
Oh, no.
I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray. Yes. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Aww.
Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh, Ray.
Oh, so nice. Glad you're getting those lols, Mouse. I'm still reminded of that clip when your kid was sleeping, but you were watching me play Ace Attorney, and you were like trying not to laugh, but I kept on like zooming into my face. I'm like, oh, your kid's right next to you? Good luck. Like ugly ass zoom in.
I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison! Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. Dun, 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 dun. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in the hut at the time? That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
Still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It'll be all right. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you've said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids.
Alcohol? Altoids? I know what these are. Mint up. Oh, okay, Parpar. I thought you were already home.
The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see.
Yes. Without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. Wait, wrong effect?
The chemical reagent has been entered into the court record. A special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory.
What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. Not yet, Sammy, but just you wait. When I get there, the race to finish this case is on. Sounds good, Parpar. Safe travels in a bit, safe travels. It was all the English woman's doing! What? It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swarmed in and without any compunction said to Professor Mikotoba, "Oh, Professor! Surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there?"
It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison.
Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This many memos-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? No, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. So Seki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police.
Yes, that must be what happened.
Counsel! We've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once.
All right. Chill, bailiff. In the middle of a conversation, okay? Relax. We'll be there soon. It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. Defense Attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes. Rei has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day. I'm immune to it, unlike somebody here looks at Sam for no reason.
Oh, wow. Fuck you.
I do not wish to have it, even for the time off.
Yeah, if you guys haven't caught COVID yet, keep that streak going like a Snapchat streak, okay? I lasted 3 years and then I caught it twice in like 6 months. The fuck? Okay. Anyways. Scene.
13th August, 11:30 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 1.
We back, baby.
Oh my god. Fucking Aoichi.
I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Rei Membami. Prosecutor Aoichi, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh.
What news? And why does he look so happy about it? During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Jezaille Brett's life.
Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions. Of course.
Fucking kiss ass. Fuck you, Aoichi. I had the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so we would be there in good time.
But judging by the men's swagger, I feel we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
Actually, wait, hold on. That was Mikotoba's line, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Oops.
Take 2.
But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. Okay, so let's take it back from Mikotoba's last line before we got disconnected there. I had the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so would be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And counsel, what were the results? This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake.
The murder weapon has been entered into the court record. A small knife from the scene of the crime that was found in the victim's back. No trace of poison was found on the blade.
In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed.
You son of a bitch, Aoichi.
Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
The newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well. Officer, bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
There he is, there he is.
Good day, Commander.
There's that awkward fart. Hello, Neems.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Right, and many memo of the Show You News, and I'm what people like to call a journo.
What's a journo? What's a journo, Father? Do you know?
It's simply a contradiction of journalist.
I'm there when the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. Hey, don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news.
Oh, jeez. Get a load of this guy.
Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, what have we here?
I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourselves, people. Many Memo sends us a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lock this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Jesus.
Besides being a journalist, you also have a side hobby as being a professional cocaine inhaler?
That's it. How was lunch?
It was delicious, Neems. The shabu shabu was so good.
No more objections from me. Gotta save up for that VIP. OP.
Welcome back, guys.
Huh?
Right then, let's start with your name.
It's Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while. the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aoichi. That's Taketsuchi Aoichi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. No, the readers won't buy that. What?
Witness.
Yes.
What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my many-memoism.
Oh my god. Bruh.
Many-memoism. Shut the fuck up, dude. Many-memoism?
Yes. I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san.
Yes, right. That was me. Many-memo again.
But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news offices after our meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words? A criminal, left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dung! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns. Stay your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at play. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. If only I got points for VODs. Appreciate the support, Purple Fox. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right. Here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph?
Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journo eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera.
Thank you, Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death.
Witness testimony.
camera never lies.
The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journo spirit burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot.
Take it easy on your fucking outfit, dude. It's about to pop. Sammy McMammy, having too much fun. I do like me some Ace Attorney. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Thanks for being here.
Reed screens, you say? Right. You can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped.
He's a little cocky.
The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds.
Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat.
And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved. Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's many memoism in a nutshell.
At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No!
Wonderful news, Your Excellency! Wonderful. Fucking this guy. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied. Spirit of Justice has been in the US for a while, just on one of the DS until the Apollo Justice Trilogy came out. So now it's one piece. No, it's on PC and stuff too. But it is the latest mainline Ace Attorney game. Came out after the Great Ace Attorney 1, I think in like 2018 or 19. Before this one came out. Sorry for the late reply. I was getting inside the house. Nah, it's all good, Papa. No problem, no problem. That this testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news. A startling photograph. All the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
Reporting in.
Oh! That's right. Oh! That's right.
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
More pathetic excuses.
Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest.
Cross-examination.
That camera never lies.
Alright, so let's go through each of his statements and let's see if we can find some contradictions, shall we?
The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. Hold it! Hold it! What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place? Call it journo instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Journal instinct? The fuck?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because, as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman? Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting the journo as a voyeur. It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
Yeah, that shit's illegal in California. You gotta let them know.
Nope. You've got it all wrong, little student boy. Sorry? To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops know no gender, man or woman, it's all news. That's not even many memoism, it's basic journalism. If only the courtroom was as indiscriminate. Right, so if that's all buttoned up, can we move on?
Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut?
A sight that vindicated my journo instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Hold it! So you actually saw Membami-san entering the hut? Yup. And she was raging like my journo spirit. And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly? You stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. More than meets the eye, he's a transformer. We solved the case, Sammy.
Transformers! Bro, this deep fried mochi cheeseburger fucks. Goddamn, it's good. I want it.
The student girl walked right up to the English woman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs.
Oh my god. That was
Our
terrible.
illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism.
But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really ought to work on his similes first, though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is, that woman in the dock was mightily angry. And And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. Hold it! Hold it! Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ha! The precise moment! I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish. I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the Englishwoman was on this stool at the back of the hut here. Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut smiling sweetly. She just sat at the back of the hut smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. And, in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other.
What you describe is a grim crime indeed.
Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says.
The beach hut plan has been entered into the court record. A plan of the layout of the small beach hut where the victim was found.
By the way, Mini Memo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film? Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre, or however that's pronounced. So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense's request. Many Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement.
Well, nihilism is the foundation of many memoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer.
Hold it!
Hold it! Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that? I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already. Oh, I see. You were scared? Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes. It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot.
You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera.
Many memoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, many memoism comes out on top. Huh. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. Surely he's making all this up.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he's said. As you've no doubt seen done many times before in your role as judicial assistant.
Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do.
Okay, so we've gone through all of his statements. Now we need to find the one that's fishy. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, chat. I'm gonna turn on story mode. Oh, is this the statement? The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Yeah, I'm a big fan of, well, I'm like blocking it, but you can press a button to turn on story mode. So if you just want to hear, if you don't want to do any of the detective stuff and you just want the story to progress, you can just turn that on whenever. Or maybe it, oh, I thought it was the second statement. Okay, so I just went through all of them. I never once set foot in the hut nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. Okay. Okay, so we need to find a contradiction that proves that he was in the hut. I mean, this is the picture that he took, right? And he said he took this from outside.
Objection!
Oh, it was the pen?
Many memo-san, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Show You News on my arm. In a way, that's more many memoism. Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel?
Many Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died. What are you? If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused.
Rei Membami. Is it a coincidence, I wonder, that your initials are also R.M.?
Oh! Oh! Fuck, you know you walked a long while when sitting in your fucking chair is hurting your legs?
Save me, Sam!
No!
Raiten, many memo. RM.
Oh, shit.
That's horse dung! Can't you see? One of the central tenets of many memoism is being a pencil user. And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see on your right hand, there is a very obvious blue ink stain.
It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey, horse dung! Many Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Jezaille Brett in that beach hut?
Oh, shit!
Objection!
Objection! Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse.
Exactly. Shoyu News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with initials RM as there are stars in the night sky. The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Objection!
And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue.
Let's go, Susato. Let's go, baby.
A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner identity is... Okay, let's do a little bit of investigation.
So this is like the original outfit she wears that makes her look like a dude, since, you know, girls are not allowed to be in the courtroom during this time. But yeah, the DLC outfit is way better.
If we take off the pen's lid...
Veteran streamer.
One of the best. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner identity is... Now, let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Is something wrong, Father?
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink there, that's all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Okay. And these are your initials.
The RM initials are very clearly engraved here.
And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to this pen in her dying moments is very clearly a message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case.
There's some sort of emblem here, look. But it isn't a Yume University one.
It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Rei. Okay, now we already checked this. What am I missing, chat? I think it's got to be the emblem.
Reporting in.
This little VN watching Bish. Sharky, thanks for hanging out, dude. Got it! As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, Many Memo-san.
Goodness me! It's the emblem of the Shoyu News!
Oh! Oh! In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they?
Oh, let's go, Susato.
Hell yeah, brother. I mean, sister.
Well, Many Memo-san, how do you respond? No!
Order, order! Explain yourself, witness.
So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. I've used nothing but honest tactics. All right then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded, I, as a Shoyu News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman. An interview? You never mentioned this before. When exactly was this? As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing. And as we many memoists say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news.
However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired.
Got it. Yes. All right, but on one condition. Condition? In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san. Soseki-san? Oh yes. According to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. And brace yourselves, because it's not a harmless one. It's big. What? What? Oh? Many memoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
Very well. I will grant the witness's request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Soseki-san hiding something? Oh? Oh?
Witness testimony.
The witness's secrets.
I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined. So I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memoism demands I reveal it now.
You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness? Oh, well, and when she did, you decided to ask her a question?
That's, true, yes.
He did. And that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused.
Oh?
This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even a conversation. Yes, I did pose the withering English rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even.
Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. This court must and will know the truth.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Rei somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut? There he is! Soseki-san's back.
Cross-examination.
The witness's secrets.
So, sexy-san? Names. Got his ass. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined. So I left the hut without making a fuss.
Hold it!
You asked her for an interview, you say? Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year. About the case in which Dr. John H. Wilson lost his life? From the first game. That's not the way I phrased it. Many memoism calls for straight talking. Why did you murder Dr. Wilson, is how I put it to her. Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as a ruler. Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu in a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. And how did Miss Brett answer? With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm. Holy shit, Sam's back! Yo, what up, Deadly? Yes, sir. We back, baby. Whew, that told me. So I waltzed right out of there. Really? Something about that doesn't quite seem to fit together. Leave every room as if you're waltzing into a dance hall, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running.
Hold it!
That was very persistent of you, considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away. Persistence wins the prize. Any memoist will tell you that. Let them think you've left. Then just when they lower their guard, that's when you swoop in for the scoop.
And the fruits of your labor are all too apparent in this telling photograph. Though, I'm sure the young yokel student would rather not be reminded of this damning evidence.
Actually, it's thanks to that photograph that we managed to identify this witness. And now that you've found me, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've got nothing to hide. I'm sure.
Please, do go ahead, witness. The court is eager to hear what you have to say.
Oh, fuck you, Aoichi.
Try to stop me. There's a story to tell here, and I'm gonna tell it. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help.
Hold it!
And Soseki-san remained behind in the hut? That's right, yep. Our author friend here was a blabbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his toes, mustache twitching, eyes bulging.
What do you expect? You don't know the terrifying troubles that taunted me whilst traveling abroad. Back behind baleful bars. They'll be coming for me surely. Oh my god. That's all I could think. I felt as though I were gasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat.
Poor Soseki-san. His experiences in London have scarred him deeply. As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha. Eternal emptiness, empty eternity! The end is coming for me, surely.
No sutras are to resound in my courtroom, please.
And now we come to the crucial part. That's when it happened. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memoism demands I reveal it now.
Hold it!
So Seki-san, are you trying to hide something?
Don't look at me like that!
So Seki-san, you must tell the court everything that happened. Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man.
But then, all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. Rei! I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead English woman. I nearly jumped out of my skin. But what did you ask her, Soseki-san? I asked her, who did this to you?
Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond?
She didn't. She said nothing in response.
When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony.
I will.
Oh.
Neems, you have a shaking emo too. Perfect. Perfect.
Oh man, Neem's got all the emotes. I think somehow you knew something was in the air. Like, I think these emotes are gonna be great for when Sam returns the Ace Attorney, baby.
I asked her who did this to you, but she never replied.
Hold it!
So you tried to find out who the culprit was. He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. And having been labeled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind.
Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever.
Shadows? Yeah, all the shaking emotes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! That second one is a little bit of a twerk, but I take it. As soon as I zoomed in on the emote, I was like, whoa, whoa.
Shaky BB.
Hold on, I can join in as well. I got Ectoro Shake It, and I also got Dan Shake. I just typed in shake and I was like, okay, we got multiple shakes. Shaky BB. However, you've indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? I know why. I know why the Englishwoman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stupid mustache. Because I'm Japanese. She was pretty racist. I'll believe that.
Oh dear. So Seki-san has really developed a dislike for the English, it seems.
Having read the report on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia.
But the Englishwoman didn't ignore you at all. Did she, Mr. Writer-man?
Well, yes, all right. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. What did she say? She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant.
Hold it!
Hold it! Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant? So Seki-san, is that really true?
It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us with the student girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked, who did this to you? The Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. No. So Seki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? Fiddlesticks, I say. This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese. Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling and she was trembling and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Yeah, actually, no, not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. Or just somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all.
You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear?
Yes, that's it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear.
Objection!
Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because, as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime. I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now
conclude this trial.
No! The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyers, hopes dashed. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprits and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over.
But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet.
Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need.
Rei gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back. How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Rei? Somewhere amid all the information we gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question.
I take it then that the defense has nothing further to add.
So the gallant Yoko student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I am ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter.
This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim?
Where was the real culprit hiding, and how did he or she stab the victim? Do we know or do we not know, chat? We know. Or we'll find out.
Objection!
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being.
Oh? To what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
An alternative theory? None exists.
Objection!
There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
Hold up, chat.
And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. By mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
This is fiction! Fantasy!
Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory.
Oh my god, is that SamKim with the Grey Ace Attorney? Nobu! Welcome back, man. Good to see you, brah. Cheers, man.
Yes, I am back, and we are also back in the courtroom.
Good to see you, Nobu. Yeah, we are resuming the first case or episode of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. If you missed the first part, I mean, I streamed it over a year ago, so it's a long gap in between. I know, I'm sorry. I know you're a fan of Ace Attorney, my bad. But yeah, if you want to get refreshed on any of that, the playlist to the very first part that I streamed last year is pinned at the top of chat, and there's also the playlist that I just linked right there. After tonight's stream, I'll get all this edited, start getting it uploaded during the night, and yeah, everything should be there like early next week. Dang, I didn't know I sounded like that. Ew. Well, I don't know. I wasn't trying to make fun of you or anything by any means. Yo, Nobu, welcome back, man. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So, young Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Okay, so this is the entrance. They had a knife in their back, though. That's the thing. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Where would they be hiding? Yeah, no, it's all good. I totally understand, Nobu. Yeah, enjoy the lurk, man. It's good to see you. The robber was inside the house the entire time. Scream. Scream. 9 confirmed. Hold on. I'm going to turn on story mode.
Take that!
Ah.
Naruhodo-san would never give up. And I'm a Naruhodo now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut?
What?
Oh! Order! But student lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire, that makes no sense at all.
You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap. But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about, I can swear to that.
Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Actually, Prosecutor Aoichi, there is a way. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing! The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? Ooh, remember they said the walls had gaps?
I could tell you, but where's the fun in that?
The walls had gaps. They are in the walls! Okay, alright, chat, let's work together. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki Natsume on 11th August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade, would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military.
Damn's too old to get that reference, I assume. They're in the goddamn walls.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Where is that from? A special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate.
Hello, my son.
Any other clues on this bottle? What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? Ah yes, this must be the victim's blood.
Oh dear. Blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean.
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father.
Any other clues? Victim Jezaille Brett, female British, time of death 11th August at around 2 p.m. ascertained by examination and witness statements. Cause of death, single deep stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting in fatal hemorrhage. Death would have occurred within minutes. Notes: extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes, indicating she was poisoned. Because there is this little hole here. I want to say it's this crime scene photograph. Oh, it's from Aliens? I've only seen a little bits here and there of Aliens. Alien Romulus was Actually, the first Alien movie I saw completely. Ah, so it is this one. Got it.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene?
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Objection!
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing.
I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to.
Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing which you claim took place from outside the hut? Right here, baby.
Take that!
Look closely, just here. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
No, I can't. I can't see any such thing.
It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them.
This is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And of everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Raiten Many Memo-san! It could have only been you! No!
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume as part of this farcical scenario that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not.
We're not.
If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death, inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of a hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable.
A stool?
Have another look at the photograph. The slit in the read screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
Oh, my word. So, in fact, the victim was...
killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the read screen. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut. Before the defendant Membami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day.
Let's go, Susato, let's go.
By your silence, Many Memo-san, I take it that you don't deny the charge. This is absurd!
That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Membami-san, is innocent of the crime.
Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave.
I must say, I've never been more proud.
No, this can't be. The Aoichi clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope? It wasn't all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't.
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by...
Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals. But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls.
And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant? Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed. It doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. Welcome back, Frozen. What are you talking about? Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up. What?
Enough obscurity! Explain yourself, witness.
What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course.
The poison?
Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right?
That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used.
I see. So presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed?
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already,
The poison could not have circulated in her blood.
How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom in whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already...
Objection!
Forgotten already, have we, Yokul? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever. So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turns out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right? Well... Oh, fams, my toddler vomited all over my wife in the bed, so just running all around. I missed that correction, not fam. Get it. Shit, I hope they're okay, man. The poison doesn't change the fact that she died from your stab wound, idiot, right?
Order. But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it.
You mean she drank it?
Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either.
So somebody made Miss Brett drink it. Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. Whew, this will make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
Hold it!
Established? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe given that the person who established it was you. Me? What on earth does he mean? Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. Ah, yeah, this is prime press fodder, this is.
It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony.
That's great. That is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency. Oh yeah, perfect right there.
You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim.
I'm a journo and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now, because that's many-memoism. For a brief moment, I thought I illuminated the truth. it slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us?
Witness testimony.
Complete innocence.
Objection!
You hid that you stabbed her? Come on, let's wrap this shit up.
Oh yes, I stabbed the English woman, and it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. If the courts weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. So, you admit it then? That everything happened as I described.
Our illustrious champion returns. Well met.
So, you admit it then? That everything happened as I described? That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the read screen?
Chillin', man. Just got back from Vietnam on Saturday. Oh, for sure, man. Visiting some fam, I assume. Hope you got some of that fresh pho, dude. But welcome back home.
You can blame this miserable country of ours. A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back. I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me. That's right. You guessed it. That pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart. You're implicating Rei again. She's the only one. She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap. This journo here is off the hook.
The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical.
And therefore, this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical. Yo, what up, Yuki? Welcome back. Good morning. That's right, it is. Logical and true. I'm glad you've all seen the light. Justice at last. This is unbelievable. And after I'd made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now?
Oh, the face slap. We getting serious, baby. Having to wait is exactly why he might have then decided to stab her, though. Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stopped looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Cross-examination.
Complete innocence.
Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman, and it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent.
Hold it!
Hold it! So, you do admit that you had murderous intentions towards Miss Brett then? Ha! The woman's very existence offended my sense of justice. Your sense of... He's claiming some sort of righteous indignation? She was pure evil. A cold-blooded killer who committed murder right here on our empire's soil. But did our good-for-nothing government do anything? Ha! Not a chance. So I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice. Put things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's what drove me to do it. So, in summary, murderous intentions then?
So yes.
Whatever you want to call it, the point is this. That Englishwoman was a blight. So I had to do what was right for society.
Yet a real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock. A crime for which she must pay.
Obviously, because the poisoning was nothing to do with me at all.
Okay, that was the first statement.
Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her?
Hold it!
So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim? Obviously. That'd be like putting a belt on your trousers when you were already wearing braces like these.
The accused administered the poison, following which the witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of the murder. That crime rests on the accused's shoulders. That is how the law works, you see, yokel. Who knows? You may even learn something here today. Hey, fuck you, Aoichi. 2 consecutive attempts on her life in the space of minutes? Quite a day for the victim.
Do something that evil, and you've got it coming. That's how the law works, the law of reckoning. That's not the kind of law this court upholds.
You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim then, witness.
When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat.
Hold it!
Hold it! What exactly were they arguing about? About what happened in that restaurant 9 months ago, that's what. The student girl was laying into the Englishwoman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson.
Yes. John H. Wilson. A professor of medicine invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less.
Right, but the Englishwoman just jeered.
Her case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman.
It was eating that student girl up inside. You could see it. I really felt for her. Oh! Ray's back! I can't stand here and listen to this tribe. Ray!
Young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whenever you feel like it.
No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen. I don't know, you went live again. Hi, yeah, Miss Galaxy, welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, if you didn't get the Twitch notification, well, I mean, if you have them on, then yeah, my Discord will always post when I go live. Okay, coming. But this awful man is making all of this up. Susato, please, you have to make them listen. Shut up, Ray, I'm undercover. I'm not Susato. I'm Ryutaro Naruhodo, motherfucker.
Return to the dock at once, Membami-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination.
Hold it!
Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, great-peeping Tom. Whoa, take it easy there. Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks. I will grant the request of the defense. But Your Excellency! This is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing that this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
Oh, wait. Oh, hold on, I did not mean to accidentally skip through all those. If the victim had unwittingly taken the poison already, the reporter would have had no reason to stab her. On the face of it, that logic sounds entirely reasonable.
But there's no question that this man was responsible for Miss Brett's murder.
If we could think of a plausible explanation as to why he might have stabbed her even after the poisoning, I feel sure that everything would drop into place. That's what we should be looking for.
Yes, I agree. And in order to do that, I must try to glean more information.
Okay, let's go back. Wait, we went through these statements. Ah, okay. So these are the new ones with Rei.
I mean, egg coffee sounds about as good as garlic ice cream. It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
Hold it!
I'll catch up with chat in just a sec.
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison. But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed. All visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
That's true. I pestered Professor Mikotoba until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail.
Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since Soseki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance.
I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with a deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that. To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Ah, yes. Many Memo-san, one small question if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can't you see, busy?
Clearly, you were outside the beach hut listening in whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably then, it was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in this morning's edition of Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else.
Sorry. Don't know what you're talking about. Yes. Look at this. The entire article is almost what I said to Miss Brett word for word. Well, Many Memo-san? As a journo and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's a founding principle of Many Memoism. Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut.
The details of the poison article have been updated in the court record. An article about poison that was stolen from a laboratory at Yume University. The reporter, Mini Memo-san, based it on information he gleaned by eavesdropping.
Probably more like a custard coffee. I wonder if they whip it with sugar and make it like a meringue cream. Oh yeah, you prep coffee through a slow drip, and while you do that, you are frothing an egg with honey, vanilla, and salt, making a kind of cream. Oh, okay. So it's not just the eggs, you're also mixing it with other stuff like honey, vanilla, and salt. Okay. I think I'd be more open to trying the egg coffee as opposed to the coconut coffee. Anything but that.
No coconut. So that's what it was all about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her. Shut up! My stories never stink. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on record.
Very well. You may amend your formal testimony.
The point is, if you'd poisoned someone, there'd be no reason to then go stab the person as well.
Hold it!
Perhaps you doubted the efficacy of the poison and sought to make sure your victim would die.
Exactly.
That's horse dung. What? That would be like pouring pepper on your Chinese ramen before you'd even tasted it. Completely reckless. Although, it might surprise you to learn that I am a bit of an impetuous pepper pourer as it happens. Once the victim had taken the poison, she would have been only minutes away from death. Once the victim had taken the poison, she would have been only minutes away from death. And yet, this man then proceeded to stab her in the back as well. There has to have been a good reason for that.
If it was the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, then clearly he must have done it prior to Rei. He must have done it prior to Rei entering the hut.
Yes, that's undeniable.
But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there was one very crucial change in the situation.
Sorry? What change?
The reporter overheard the conversation between Rei and the Englishwoman.
Ah! Yes, that's it. That's when Mini Memo-san first found out the exact nature of the poison he'd used. That could be the key here.
If the victim had unwittingly taken the poison already, the reporter would have had no reason to stab her. On the face of it, that logic sounds entirely reasonable.
But there's no question that this man was responsible for Miss Brett's murder.
If we could think of a plausible... Oh, we read this earlier before I skipped through. If we could think of a plausible explanation as to why he might have stabbed her even after the poisoning, I feel sure that everything would drop into place. That's what we should be looking for.
Yes, I agree. And in order to do that, I must try to glean more information.
Alright, I'm gonna turn on story mode. We've went through all the statements. Now we need to present evidence. What are we using?
Objection!
Oh, the poison article. Okay, so he said, the point is, if you'd poison someone, there'd be no reason to then go and stab the person as well.
Well, I can think of one reason. What? But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut?
Of course he did! There can be no question of that. After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, all were told that it was a terrible toxin. All we were told is that it's a terrible toxin.
And there is one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, counsel?
Memo-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it.
Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Membami-san entered the hut. Yes, very articulately put.
When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison. At which point, Memo-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What worrying information?
The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy and that it couldn't be readily obtained.
Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab.
And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death. The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable. In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people.
everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Membami-san being no exception.
Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson, unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you. Raiten Many Memo? It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day. And it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that was a terrible mistake. Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable. As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learnt of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involves stabbing the victim in the back through the read screen.
Objection!
But what good could that possibly do?
Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect.
Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he?
Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would have ever suspected.
Oh, this is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use. Which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back.
Order! The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument it wishes to put forward?
Well, there are a number of, I mean, yes, I counter completely.
Objection!
The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he is clinging to lost hope.
Damn, Susato! Shots fired! Sheesh! Goddamn. Yeah, it was Road to UFC that I got to see, dude. That's awesome.
Lost hope? Oh!
You pathetic, useless, fallen samurai!
Fallen? Who are you calling for?
I don't need a counter-argument. What are you talking about? It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say? Gave it to the victim, you say? Stabbed her, you say? Lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter-argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's the evidence? Where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts.
Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I mean what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here in my many memos, every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That's what the Shoyu News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word.
But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed. All visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult.
How's that then? Blown the story wide open? See? I, Ryutaro Naruhodo, a mere reporter from the Shoyu News, couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory. Ah! But there can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used to kill. And if that's the case, as you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here. What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin? My point is this. There is one way that you, Many Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day. Ugh.
I have heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must be shown is evidence. What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question? Okay. What proof do we have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question? Okay. I need to take a quick little pee break, so we'll just pause real quick. I'm just gonna go to my just chatting scene. What proof do we have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question? What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison on the day in question? We've already inspected this.
Okay, I think this is it. Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki Natsume on 11th August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. The deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Because this... So Soseki gave the lecture on the 11th August. And the post-mortem report was made on August 11th at around 2 p.m. Yeah, I think it is this poison article.
Take that!
Or maybe not. Oh no, her eyes don't... they don't spark much confidence.
Well, I think you'll agree that it's clearly demonstrated by this piece of evidence here.
By that, you intend to prove that the witness stole the poison? How exactly, counsel?
You couldn't know that until you'd attempted it yourself, Your Excellency.
Let me let Zero up. That being the case, you will attempt it yourself next time before proposing the idea in my courtroom.
Aw, shit. That wasn't it. Oh dear. That didn't go down as well as I'd hoped.
The file in which the poison is kept is still in the laboratory, which means that the thief must have transferred a quantity of it to another container.
Don't give it all away, Father. So what you're saying is, I should be looking for a piece of evidence that could be used as some kind of vessel. Oh, the pen! The pen! Because we opened the chamber and it was empty.
Well, yes. That is more or less what I said indeed.
I must have another good look through the court record before Father solves this whole thing for me.
Take that!
The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen.
A fountain pen? How can that possibly be relevant?
These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now.
I swear by a weasel-haired calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad. Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously I love my fountain pen. Suck up a soup-con of sumptuous ink, and one's work is awash with words in the blink of an eye.
Hi.
That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later. Oh my god, I'm missing Greatest Attorney, Lord voice acting, hi again, Sam. Yo, what up, Kanino? Welcome back, dude. Welcome back, man. Ding.
No worries, no worries. I will edit this and upload it to my YouTube as well. All good, and it'll be in better quality. But welcome back, you legend.
That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later.
What does all this talking of sucking up ink have?
And just as it's possible to suck ink up into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course.
My word! Can this really be?
Well, Mini Memo-san? When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir.
Let's go, baby! Yeah! Here we go! Breakthrough!
Objection!
More absurdity! That never happened!
True. We've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places?
No, I'm a little ashamed to say. That, for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted. Well, this is quite startling, I must say.
I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Mini Memo-san. So, the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped?
Are you suggesting?
The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act whilst the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
Objection!
There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand.
Objection!
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink?
What?
As you can see for yourself, if you examine the evidence, there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No. The pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass.
Witness, what do you have to say in your defense?
So this is how our modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink in my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snaps?
Whoa, calm down there, Wolverine. Fucking Walmart Wolverine.
I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve.
Oh my god.
You claim I sucked the poison up into my pen? That's wild speculation. Nothing more. If you thought you could bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again.
It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter. As I see it, the situation is now very simple. It rests upon whether or not this witness did indeed steal the poison on the day in question. And therefore, it all depends upon whether or not the defense can prove that he did with evidence.
No such evidence could possibly exist.
Objection!
Many Memo-san. This is how our modern justice system works. What? In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
Very well then. I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence.
This is it then. This will be the final piece in the puzzle. The defense can prove, by means of this item, that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison. Nobu, thanks for still hanging out. Appreciate the rainbow, Sam. I adore her. Oh my god. I know. I love her fucking outfit.
Take that!
Counsel, what is that bottle?
He's ready.
God, he's such a fucking narcissist.
This bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question.
Yes. That poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Or, from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison. A reagent? What? One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Many Memo-san, is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt. No. You can't. I won't. Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat. Your Excellency? The defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once. This isn't my fault. Trying to hold it head high as civilized nation, I took it up arms in the form of a mounting pen. All in the name of justice. Many Memos! Susato with me! I'm there! Ah! Did I do it right? That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it? Not quite. That was a Ryutaro takedown. They slayed, oh my god!
Let's go, baby!
The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present. When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, the devil got hold of me and
Okay, fish, yeah, okay, dude.
I decided to do it on a whim. I excused myself and emptied all the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully. And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen. Yes. That's right.
Answer me one thing, Mini Memo-san.
What?
Why did you steal it? For what purpose?
Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a journal like me to pass up.
Then why did the English woman end up dead?
I went into that hut intending to quiz her on her situation, that's all. As a reporter. A known killer, enjoying full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face.
What's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism? Really? You must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways. You ignorant plebeian.
What? What did you call me?
This country, with its pretensions to a justice system, to a free press, is really very depressing. You see, our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf! Get out and crawl back into the cave you came from. And thus murder was committed in the courtroom. Fusion, ha!
That's when I remembered about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time.
What a terrible tale.
In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quickly as possible. But I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journo spirit getting all fired up. I'd like to ask you something. Yes? You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought. There's no justice in the press. Sorry? After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what had happened in that courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up. That's what it was. A cover-up? What do you mean?
I would remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say.
Oh, come on! Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national? Consular jurisdiction should never have come into it. And yet that puffed up Englishwoman was going to sail away into the sunset a free woman. The only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone down between Britain and Japan. What sort of deal? I'd done my research, dug up all the dirt. It was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editor just tore the article up.
He came under pressure from the government, you mean?
If our government is going to let criminals walk free, if they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done? Then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done myself? Let's not forget, Mini-Memo-san, that you committed murder yourself and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Jezaille Brett. What? The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all. I suppose.
It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense, Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. Just, musing in a manly way here.
Come on, Susato. Keep on forgetting that you're undercover. You're Ryutaro.
Okay, yeah, no problem, little shot. I will take a look at that. Thanks for hanging out, man. Have yourself an awesome night. It was good to see you. Appreciate you hanging out for the first stream back, bro. Have a good Labor Day tomorrow, man. Much love, dude.
It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience of the Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. In truth, it very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits.
Oh! Naruhodo, Ryunosuke, you mean?
The way he handled the trial 9 months ago and the way you handled this one. It gives me hope that we are genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land.
That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most keenly that the future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries.
Thank you.
So, Prosecutor Aoichi, do you have any final thoughts?
The fuck is that? Prosecutor Aoichi? I, Taketsuchi of the Aoichi clan, have been pestered by a callow youth, not once now, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, It has withered and died here today. Oh. Gosh, your journey to culture enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it? Silence! Rather than living on in shame, I will end it all now with this blade. For that is the true path to Aoijism. Oh. Aoijism?
One hopes that's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself after the witness.
Sprig of my top knot. The time is right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. Paketsuichi.
Ludicrous kill.
Oh!
So dramatic. Oh my god, I fucking love this game.
And the music, it's so good.
It cuts it right off. Now, in regard to the defendant, Rei Membami-san.
Yes, Your Excellency?
I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty.
Woohoo! Yes! We did it, chat!
Court is adjourned. Just wait, your time will come too soon eventually, Sam.
Nani?
13th August, 2:38 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 3.
It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing. Lawyers have such great responsibility. Such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruhodo-san?
God, fucking Naruhodo's fucking outfit, the DLC outfit is so good.
Susato! Susato! Thank you! Thank you so much! You were so dashing in there! Oh, Rei! And Father! Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... Oh no! I think I'm going to cry! It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end too. The only reason I'm still here is because of you. Oh no, I can't take all the credit. It took courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Rei. So I would have to say that the congratulations belongs to you.
Aww, so humble.
Susato! Don't be so standoffish. Sorry? We're friends, equals, and the trial's over. So no more of this formal super humility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger, to throw caution to the wind. Caution to the... what? I'm the great defense lawyer, Ryutaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out to a milk bar tomorrow. Or something. Right. I see. I'll, think about it, Rei. At any rate, we really knocked the wind out of that horrid man, and it felt so good. Yes, it was satisfying. It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could throw together?
I hope you're not looking at me, Rei.
Oh, my goodness! No, of course not. Of course not. Ah, there it is at last. Rei's lovely smile.
You fought for your friend to the very last. As your father, I'm extremely proud of you. Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Thank you. But I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryutaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikotoba now. So, I'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame. Wah! Who's that?
What is happening?
Ah, Soseki-san and Inspector Hosonaga. I do hope you've been keeping well. Oh, is that really you? Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope. But it's me. Susato Mikotoba. I don't... So dashing. So divine. No!
Doubly dashing, yes, and devilishly divine. Just look at you. Those watery eyes. I had no idea, Miss Susato-san, Esquiress, that you were locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire's cousin. Astonishingly astounding ace attorney.
Ah, poor Soseki-san. So confused. I still remember the first time I ever met him. It was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was that the unwitting student from Japan found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Soseki-san was free to return to Japan. And now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author.
I'm stunned. That's a truly impressive disguise. Even I had no idea, and I'm a chief inspector at the police bureau. Who came up with Mr. Turtle, no less? I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector. Amazing. You're a woman of many faces, I see.
Just two, really. And this was a once-in-a-lifetime event. I hope. Oh, I'm not a patch on you, though, Inspector. Well, I'm a professional, of course. I do worry about Inspector Hosonaga sometimes. I really do. 9 months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover, disguised as the head waiter of a restaurant. And then on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Though that didn't help you, did it? Kazuma-sama? Oh no, Kazuma!
From my perspective, I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now the truth has been lost forever. What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that the English woman committed at the end of last year. Ah, yes. It was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it. Dr. John H. Wilson, yes. The man I invited to Japan personally. The mystery is, why did she kill him? And now that the culprit herself is dead, we'll probably never know the answer.
On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter. With Mr. Herlock Sholmes, the great detective, I mean.
Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes very... Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes well, of course.
Ah! My arch nemesis! How lightly you utter his name! Well, according to the stories published about him in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Wilson. What? Dr. Wilson? I just can't believe that it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Sholmes. And if that's really true, then the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again.
As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born.
Yes, grandmother told me about it.
On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at the Imperial Yume University. But I also served another role as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs.
Yes, I was aware of that as well.
In that case, I'm sure you'll understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you.
Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan. It said that you'd collapsed with a high fever and you were growing weaker by the day. What? Where did that news come from? That's what I'd like to know. Because after that long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way? Or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of.
Dear me. Do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Susato? I am sorry, my dear. Ugh! Let me go!
Memo-san! So, one throw wasn't enough for you? I've got one last thing to say before they take me away, Professor.
Me?
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate.
Visiting student?
No, not her. The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago. Student of law? He must mean... Kazuma-sama. What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama? Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England. That he died on that steamship. And that he'll never... Ah!
Well, I didn't expect to find him in here. What were you officers playing at?
Terribly sorry, Your Excellency.
I was coming to tell you that the rickshaw has arrived, Eugen, and it's a good job I came by. Yes, thank you for dealing with him. Yes, thank you for dealing with him, and I'll be there shortly.
Oh, Your Excellency?
The trial's over. I'm not your excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend, Seishiro Jigoku. And may I say that since I saw you last, you seem to have taken on a more dashing appearance. Susato?
Did you know all along? From the start of the trial?
A judge sees everything, Susato. I couldn't let you take the risk. If Seishiro here hadn't known and then he'd recognized you. So I had a word in his ear beforehand, as an old friend. So, Seishiro, shall we? Yes. Having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address.
Before you go, Father.
Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. But well done again, both of you. You did admirably.
Oh, thank you very much.
Definitely understandable. But I'm good. I'm glad you're doing good as well. Yeah, appreciate the support, guys. Thanks for raiding the channel. Feel free to hang, but if you gotta head out, or it's just a raid and dip, all good, I totally understand. I'm gonna be wrapping up pretty soon myself. What did you think of my Seishiro sling, huh? It's been a while since I sent a man flying like that.
Whatever could Father be hiding from me? About Jezaille Brett? About Dr. Wilson? And now it seems, according to the reporter, about Kazuma-sama. I'm going to have to bring this up with Father sometime. When nobody else is around. Judicial Assistant Mikotoba-san Esquires, could I, have a word? Oh, yes, of course, Oseki-san. What is it? I, think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you. Oh? I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England. This I have to hear. I mean, a cool voice acting on Ace Attorney dialogue. I'm definitely staying until I have to leave for work. Aw, thanks, Rocking Star. Appreciate that, man. Fan of Ace Attorney? My man. Yeah, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I was going to say it's my first Ace Attorney game, but to be fair, I bought the Phoenix Wright Collection on Switch. I played a little bit, like maybe an hour or two of the first case, and then I put it down, and it didn't really click with me. And then when they released the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on Switch, I bought it. And I didn't stream the Phoenix Wright one. I was just playing that like solo by myself. But yeah, this is the first visual novel in the first Ace Attorney game that I streamed. And I'm glad I started with this one because the improvements in the animation and all the expressions, definitely better in this one. Not knocking the OG one, which I still want to play through. Like, I mean, I gotta. But yeah, I think they did a fantastic job with all the improvements visually in this one. Please, Soseki-san, tell me at once.
I mean, you ain't gonna get authentic accents, that's for sure, dude. But you know, we like to try, just a touch.
Please, Soseki-san, tell me at once.
I will.
As you know, my time in England was terrible. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things I was embroiled in. Thank goodness locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homestead, to my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikotoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report. My father? He seemed to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you asking you to return to Japan.
A steadfast supporter.
What was it then? the particular part my father was interested in.
Hey, Rocking Star 101, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate that. Welcome on in to the community and enjoy those follower emotes. Very nice. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Much love, dude. Oh Lord, so Seki is back? He is, Sharky. And he is more of an important character than I would have ever thought in the first game. Monka, I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in? Of course, I could never forget. Your father seemed to concern himself mainly with the second case. The second one? You mean the one Mr. Sholmes forbade any of us to talk about in public? Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first. Well, I don't care. I don't have to listen to what that dastardly detective says. Anyway, the point is, it seems that case somehow holds the key to all these curious unanswered questions. That horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings. Oh, shit. Okay. I'll take you out soon, sir. Of course, I love the voicing so much. Aw, thanks, Rocking Star. Hey, I have a blast just bringing life to these characters with these very inauthentic, weird-ass voices, but if anyone gets enjoyment out of it, yo, man, that's why I fucking stream, dude. So it's my pleasure. Thanks for giving me your time. It's the least I could do. If you're curious, just to whore myself out a little bit, I beat the first game in the Great Ace Attorney series, and if you want to watch it on YouTube, there's the playlist for it, and here's the playlist for the first part of the Great Ace Attorney 2, which we're playing right now, if you want to see the first part of this case, which we're now wrapping up now. I so get that. Hell yeah. Guy's always freaking out, I know, right? And he always has these really strange, very spastic moves. Almost as if he was on cocaine. Oh, I'll check that out sometime. Yeah. No pressure, you know, but hey, I love, just as I love spreading good music around, if anyone enjoys my content, shit, you know I'm going to whore myself out. But I'm glad you're enjoying it, dude. That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan? I thought that whole business was over. But it seems I was wrong. Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told. Whoa!
Nani?
Shit just got real.
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved.
Cutscene.
Thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
Oh, I love Susato. She's such an awesome character. And that is the end of case number 1. Fuck yeah, chat, we did it! Hell yeah! Okay, so that is the end of episode 1, The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney. Episode 2, The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Good stuff. I'm glad we were able to wrap up this case. Definitely in the first first Great Ace Attorney game, it felt like there were a lot more parts. Like it was a lot more drawn out. This was just 2 checkpoints, or 1 checkpoint, and then yeah, it's pretty much just like 2 parts. Okay. We're off to a great start.